He grabbed the paper and violently ripped it to shreds, letting the scraps fall over them like gray confetti. "It wasn't me," she said, automatically parroting Lamont's favorite line. "What are you talking about? There are pictures. My mother saw you there." "Your mother?" "She saw you leaving the Four Seasons, and she said you lied to her and told her you were still at home in bed. I let all these use me. They don't give a about me. No woman ever gave a about me, except my mother." Mimi was not feeling his pain. "And don't you use them?" "What?" "They want you for your money, and you want them for their looks."
We're really fascinated by the hip-hop world, and this book really takes you behind the scenes and shows you like really what's going on in that VIP room at the P. Diddy party.
Kimora Lee writes this bestseller book about a music mogul and a very young chick. Then, out of nowhere, she passes away, no explanation. And guess who else Kimora was friends with? Kim Porter, who also mysteriously passed.
Another sip. Erica Kennedy wrote Bling about Diddy. The main character is...
Something shocking just happened in the Diddy trial, and Erica Kennedy's novel Bling was literally read aloud in court this week as evidence prosecutors are reportedly arguing that this isn't just a fictional book and that it was Erica's way of exposing what she knew about Diddy, the industry, and some extremely dangerous people behind him. Erica was a journalist who worked for Diddy's fashion label, and she was also a close friend of Diddy's ex Kim Porter, and just like Kim, Erica sadly passed away unexpectedly at age 42.
In 2012, news got out that Erica had passed away, but we never got any explanation for how she died. Not even her family was willing to disclose her cause.
Now, according to court transcripts from the ongoing Diddy trial, parts from Bling were read in court to show a pattern that Kennedy had insider knowledge of Diddy's alleged RICO empire blackmail and a network used to transport victims.
FBI found a tunnel this morning at the mansion of famous rapper Diddy in Los Angeles, Part 2. After receiving an anonymous tip from neighbors, agents rushed to the scene. During their search, they uncovered a tunnel beneath the carpet in Diddy's bedroom.
Here's where it gets darker. Erica's cause of death is still a mystery, and no autopsy report was ever publicly released. And get this, before she passed, she allegedly told a friend she was working on a nonfiction follow-up to Bling, and something that would shake the industry. That friend was reportedly subpoenaed and is expected to testify, but the manuscript of the sequel to Bling was never found. However, Bling itself contains some disturbing parallels to Diddy's current case and his relationship with Kim Porter. For years, rumors have circulated that Kim's death wasn't as natural as it seemed, and with so many people close to Diddy dying under strange circumstances, including Erica Kennedy, sources are saying authorities are finally looking into Erica's case, and apparently there's growing speculation that Diddy may have used some kind of unknown substance to mimic pneumonia or stroke symptoms and make deaths look natural.
Noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia.
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia?
So, what exactly was read in court from Erica Kennedy's book? Was this book really Erica's way of exposing Diddy and the machine behind him? And what do we really know about the last hours of Erica's life? Let's break it all down.
"He told me he was gay. I think you should let him come out. He wasn't supposed to tell anybody. He told me on the down low. Did you call him a No. Yes. He said it was okay. He said it was a term of endearment." As he stammered to spin the story, even for her in the privacy of their home, she looked at him
Diddy's
pitifully.
trial just took another shocking turn after parts of Erica Kennedy's 2004 novel Bling were allegedly read aloud in court this week. Sources claim prosecutors are treating the book not just as fiction, but as an expose, possibly pointing to real people, real crimes, and a dangerous network around Diddy's RICO operation. Now, to give some context on Erica Kennedy's Bling, the main character in the book is hip-hop music mogul Iman. He's powerful, manipulative, and controls artists. through contract substance addiction and coercion. His parties are notorious. His circle is very secretive, and his influence stretches into fashion media and even law enforcement. Obviously, this closely parallels Diddy's own image, secret parties, NDAs, and rumors about deep ties with the police. And then there's also the connection between Lamont's mentor of Green, the chairman of the fictional Augusta Music, and Diddy's real life handler Clive Davis, who founded Arista Records. Here's a direct quote from Erica's book. He derived a soul-deep satisfaction from being watched, being known. He felt their eyes upon him as he approached Irv Green, the 66-year-old chairman of Augusta Music, who had been ranked number 10 on last year's Entertainment Weekly Power 100. And get this, Clive Davis actually ended up being honored at the first Billboard Power 100 event for his contributions to the music industry. But that's not all. Erica actually mentions Diddy by name several times in the book and talks about how music mogul Lamont looked up to Diddy. Erica writes in Bling, Diddy was his idol as a producer and as a human being, but every time he ran into the brother, Diddy looked right through him. And then Erica also mentions Diddy's infamous white parties, writing Lamont had told her she could quit working at the hospital once he incorporated Triple Large. She didn't mind the hospital, although she still never went to P. Diddy's Labor Day all-whites parties in the Hamptons because it reminded her too much of the life she left behind. Now moving on to the part from Bling that was reportedly read in court, we're hearing that the prosecutors were particularly interested in Erica's description of how music mogul Lamont recruited young vulnerable women and manipulated them with promises of fame only to trap them in exploitative relationships.
The contract, don't you? Yes, she said softly, but for the group. She looked at him pleadingly, moistness rimming her brown eyes. I know they're your friends, honey, he said soothingly, but they aren't as talented as you. It might sound harsh, but this is a harsh business. If you want to do this, and I can see that you do, you have to recognize that. Sensing he was making headway, Lamont pulled out the line that worked like a charm with every woman he'd ever wanted to get into bed. You're special, he cooed, pausing to let the words take effect. Talented. Another pause. And beautiful. But it's just that... Mimi began, unsure of what she wanted to say. Lamont looked at her expectantly. He knew she'd be thanking him later for advising her to drop the dead weight. Right now, however, he had an overwhelming...
In Bling, Erica also hints that Lamont is part of a secret network that exchanges women like currency among elite executives, celebrities, and foreign businessmen. And as for Diddy, it's wildly speculated that he was running some sort of blackmail scheme on behalf of his powerful friends, including allegations of transporting young women and men across state lines.
So they, through Cassie's testimony, they set up the whole enterprise that they're claiming he has. So they're alleging a woman named K is involved.
So it's like a crime ring.
Exactly. They're alleging a security guy who's also a really close friend of Puff's named D-Rock is involved. They throw out some names here. Now, the crime itself, people are confused about they're like, well, how is he again? How is that even thing? But what they're showing us evidence of, text messages and conversations, is Diddy saying, yo, fly these people out. LA, New York, Miami, and Las Vegas was their main spots, and they was flying these people all to these different places. Like one guy was based in New York, but he had been to all them places with
them.
That
is the definition of, you're correct?
Yeah, it's part of it. When you fly people across state lines with the intent to do anything immoral, and you're forcing them.
Now going back to Bling, the character Mimi Jean is molded into a star and controlled completely by Lamont emotionally, physically, and financially, and then her career is destroyed when she tries to speak out. Obviously, this closely parallels what Cassie described in her lawsuit, a pattern of control and violent retaliation after she tried to escape the relationship. And then on top of that, a subplot in Bling involves an Asian rapper, one who's signed to Lamont and who also happens to be gay. And during one conversation with Lamont fantasizes about unaliving him because he's scared some would embarrass him. But there's more. There's a character named Billy the Kid, a young aspiring rapper in his teens who ends up being fatally shot at the end of the book, and Lamont worries that he'll be blamed for the murder because he pushed Billy to make gangster music. So as you can see, there are way too many parallels between the plot of Bling and what's now coming out about Diddy's real life. Erica Kennedy wasn't being subtle, she was naming names and building characters that clearly mirrored real people in the music industry, while also hinting at serious crimes and cover-ups. But what makes all of this even more disturbing is what happened to Erica herself. So here's what we know about Erica. She was born on March 24th, 1970 in Queens, New York. She studied at both Sarah Lawrence College and Oxford University, where she earned a liberal arts degree. Erica had a successful media career. She was an author, blogger, correspondent, fashion journalist, and a publicist. She worked closely with major names in fashion and entertainment, including Diddy himself, and she was also close with Camora Lee Simmons, serving as maid of honor at her wedding to Russell Simmons. After graduating, Erica made her mark writing for major fashion and cultural magazines like Vibe and Style Paper and LUK. Then in 2004, she broke out with her debut novel Bling, which made the New York Times bestseller list. The book made serious waves, and according to a 2007 Variety article, Harvey Weinstein's company was actually eyeing Bling for a film adaptation. The article says, when the Weinstein brothers ran it at Disney, Miramax Books optioned the film rights to Erica Kennedy's hip-hop tale Bling at the same time that it bought the book, but the company has not yet made the movie. The option has been renewed for 2008, but Erica never got the chance to see her book adapted into a movie because in June 2012 her life was tragically cut short at age 42. And here's where it gets really sketchy. So on June 18th, the Florida Police Department confirmed that Erica was found dead last week at her home in Miami Beach. However, it was never revealed exactly what day she died, and even her Wikipedia page still says she died around June 13th. But here's the creepiest part: her cause of death was never made public, and even now there's barely anything out there on the internet about Erica, and it's almost like someone made sure to wipe any trace that connected her to Diddy. However, there's one statement from Erica's family published by the International Business Times on June 18th, 2012, the same day her death was confirmed by the police. Although this statement only raises more questions than it answers, the report is titled, "Who is Erica Kennedy?" Family issued statement on death, and in the first paragraph her death is described as mysterious. What's also interesting is that the report mentions that Erica started her career as a publicist for designers and chronicled her fashion and PR experience in articles like "I Got Puff Daddy into his first suit." However, when you click on the hyperlink for that quote about Diddy, it leads you to a broken page. The post also quotes Erica's family statement, which says that the grieving for Kennedy is compounded by the frustration of not knowing the cause of her death. And then on top of that, the statement points out that Erica was not known to have a serious illness and seemed to be in the prime of her life. So now that Erica's book Bling was reportedly brought up as evidence in Diddy's trial, a lot of people online are starting to piece things together, and there's now serious speculation that both Erica and Kim Porter might have been unalived because of their tell-all books. Meanwhile, sources close to the federal investigation are saying the prosecutors have known about Erica's case for a while, and now her name is back on the radar as they dig deeper into Diddy's alleged criminal empire. However, Diddy might just be the tip of the iceberg. There are also rumors that he was possibly tied to a much bigger, much more powerful network behind the scenes, but it remains to be seen if Diddy's rumored bosses will actually be exposed, or if Diddy ends up taking the fall like what happened in the Epstein case. In the meantime, let's hear your takes on Erica Kennedy's case. What do you think really happened to Erica? Was she silenced for knowing too much about Diddy in the industry? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and then check out this next video.